today's video, I'll be talking about the Lucena position. It's an endgame position, a fundamental rook and pawn versus rook endgame ending, and it's named after Louis Lucena, and is a position that every chess player should try getting familiar with. In this video, I'll just go through the different possibilities of play, the basic structure, and how to play on so that white can promote. Note that from here, if white plays accurately, the pawn can definitely be promoted, and if not, well, it could be a draw. The essential characteristics of the position are, well, one is that the pawn to be promoted must be any pawn from the B file to the G file, anywhere from the B to the G file. It should not be a rook pawn, is what I mean to say. And also another feature of this position is that the pawn that has to be promoted must be on the 7th rank, and the king must be on the queening square. Okay, so now it's white to move, and as I said, with accurate play, white can queen his pawn to try and overwork the king and rook. I mean, like, if you can disturb the coordination between black's pieces, black's king and rook, then they won't be able to gang up on the pawn and capture the pawn. So white starts with checking the king with rook d2, and now this moves the king onto the e file. If king c6 is played, white can just promote much faster. Let's go through that variation first. If the king goes to c6, then after a move like king c8, black finds himself in a lost position, because now the rook cannot check the king, and if rook b1, then it's still a lost position because white will queen, and after all these exchanges, white is up a rook, so white should be able to win from here. Going back, at this point, if black had responded to the check by playing king e7, well, then white should play rook d4. You'll understand the purpose of this bridge move, rook d4, as we go ahead. Basically, the white king will escape, and the rook will do the important job of blocking the check from the attacking black rook. You'll see what I mean. First, king c7 will be played by white, and black's checks, which he gives now, will be of no use. Rook c1 is followed by king to b6, and then rook b1, and then the king comes back to c6. At this stage, black is just playing for a draw, and black can either play rook c1 or rook b2. Go through both variations. At this stage, if rook c1, then king b5, so that if black decides to check again, we can use the rook to block and create a bridge. And now you can see the purpose of the rook blocking the check. Now it's an easy queening for white. White should be able to win from here. Alternatively, at this point, if black played rook b2 instead of what we saw earlier, which was rook c1, then play would go as follows. It's a waiting move, so white plays rook e4 check. The king cannot come to the d file, so it is a must to go to the f file. So probably king f5 would be its best option. But now again, white builds a bridge by coming back to c4. And again, white will eventually be able to queen his pawn. After king e6, rook c1, rook b3, king c7, king f5, and then queening. So the rook has to capture the queen here, and then the king captures rook. So it's a one position for white. This was the Lucena position. Remember, it works for both black and white. I've just showed it for white, but applicable to black as well. And just note that all the characteristics of the position that I mentioned in the beginning are satisfied. Cheers, take care.